The 2017 Srinivasa P. Goody Memorial Engineering Teaching Award will be given to Dr. Harold Connamacher. Let's learn a bit more about why he's so deserving of this award through a video.
I'm Alice Zhang, and I'm an engineering physics major from Shenzhen, China, and I plan on graduating in May 2018. I nominated Professor Connamacher because I took discrete math with him, and I really liked the class, and it was engaging. It's easily my favorite class at Case so far. I think students relate to him mostly because of the stories he tells in class. Students want to know what to look forward to past graduation, and he really brings his experiences into the classroom.
I'm Harold Connamacher. I teach the Introduction to Programming in Java, I teach discrete mathematics, I'm teaching a graph theory course, and I teach programming language concepts. I have a lot of stories from industry that I like to tell the students, especially things that they shouldn't do. And a lot of them are kind of funny. I mean, I once caught a computer on fire, and my boss was actually thrilled because he's like, I've seen it in movies, I've never seen a computer actually catch fire. And then the hardware person came along, and the boss was like, what do you think that is? Do you think it's the power supply? And the hardware guy says, no, from the smell of it, it must be the memory chips. My boss said, oh, we don't pay you enough. So tell me, from the smell, were those 32 meg or 64 meg chips melting? When I think about what I went through in industry, it really does kind of guide how I'm teaching them, because I want the students to be as good as possible. You know, I want them to bring in the best things that I saw from industry and kind of avoid the worst things. I mean, a lot of things like making sure you test what you do. Don't just write things at the last minute and turn it in. People in industry were doing that, and then programs were crashing. Everybody remembers the blue screen of death. Well, okay, students today don't remember it, but faculty remember the blue screen of death. That was just natural. Everyone's like, oh, my computer crashed, haha. But it shouldn't be that way. This is because people didn't realize the importance of testing and carefully thinking through code, and now we know. When I graduated, I just sort of assumed everybody out there was just amazing programmers, and it was a shock to me to find out that most people really didn't know what they were doing. I was talking with people who were vice presidents of major technology companies, and they would say things, and I'd be like, didn't your professor at college teach you better? Because mine taught me better. And I started thinking I could have a bigger impact if I start training the next engineers rather than spending my time sort of, they were giving me things like, oh, we don't like the color of this button, change that. And I was finding that I would have a bigger impact rather than writing specific packages to actually be training the next people.
Professor Connamacher is not afraid to use his mistakes to potentially help his students learn. Him doing it on a whiteboard, you get to follow through that thought process with him, and same thing in Java, if he's live coding, you're following through line by line. It's hard for professors to do live coding because they have to type and think at the same time and explain what they're doing. So not a lot of professors do it.
I'm not so worried about making mistakes because I don't think my job is to be perfect. I think my job is really to get the students interested in the material, so then they'll go and learn the right way to do it. So if I make a mistake now and then, I don't think it's that critical. Well, when I teach, I don't like to have a strict lesson plan. I like to have more of an outline of what I want to cover. And so then it allows me to be flexible so students can contribute and make suggestions, and so we can do it. So I will be doing the math proof on the board with the students giving me input, or I will be writing a program and the students will be giving me input. And sometimes it goes well, and sometimes it goes disastrously, because sometimes I'll get bored of a problem and say, you know what, I'm going to do a different problem, and I'll do it right on the spot without realizing it's impossible. It's part of the teaching thing just to try to keep the class involved, keep the students involved, and not just presenting them with a solution, but showing them how we think about it and how we come up with the solutions.
So Professor Connamacher is fun to learn from because he really cares about his students, and it's great trying to figure things out with him other than him teaching you something. For example, in discrete, I was kind of working out problems step by step, and I was in his office hours a lot, and he'd coach me, and he'd only give those you're on the right track pointers and not actually tell you where to go from there. and that really helped me.
The students is what gets me excited about coming to CASE. I mean, the students here are amazing. My first term, I realized CASE students were different because I was lecturing on the board, and I looked out and there was this one woman, and she was laying back. She had her feet back. She was like sleeping. Her eyes were closed, and I was like, some student who was up late at night sleeping through my lecture. And I'm going ahead talking about something, and suddenly she goes, "Wait a minute, that makes no sense." And I was like, "I thought you were asleep." And you're right, I was wrong. And so here she was. And so that just let me realize that students here are a little different. They catch me in all my mistakes. They really listen to what I say. My goal is to be a good teacher and then to get feedback from the students that they appreciate what I'm doing. That's just, it's just, I can't really put into words, honestly. It's just, this is what I want, is for students to appreciate what I'm doing, to think that they're getting value out of what I'm providing.
Thank you. I just want to thank the students in Tau Beta Pi for this. Like I said, it really means a lot. I'm very touched and honored by this. I know my classes are really hard, but you keep coming back, and it really is just an honor for me, and I'm very lucky to come to work every day with people who are so passionate about learning. It just keeps me inspired all the time. Thank you very much.